Hello and welcome to this demo on creating apps and sites in Office 365. My name is Matthew Hughes and I am the co-founder of Flucidity Limited. In this demonstration we're going to take a look at creating apps and sites, and the reason I kind of thought about doing this video is mainly because it's changed since the previous releases of SharePoint. So I really wanted just to show people where things were and why it's changed, in the hope that as people upgrade and migrate to the new version of SharePoint, we will be able to, or better yet, if they move to Office 365, then they will hopefully find the transition a little bit easier. So let's jump to a SharePoint 2013 or Office 365 Wave 15 at the time of recording team site, and we can see here that there's no site actions anymore. This is kind of a change to the user interface. I mean, we could probably do a whole video on the changes to the user interface because things have changed quite a bit. But there isn't no site actions. It used to be in the top right, top left. They kept moving it around. And not only have they moved it around now, they've also removed the word site actions. So in the top right hand side here, you can see the word settings. And actually, I'm going to call it the site actions cog, just so I can sort of remember the days where it was called site actions. So in the site actions cog, if I want to create a new site, for example, there isn't an option here to create a new site, and in SharePoint 2010 there was certainly an option here. It was one of the first options to create a new site. So they've changed things ever so slightly here, and the best way I can see to create a site from here is to go to site contents. And if you see in the site contents, you can see subsites here. So we're just going to go and create a site, and if you're used to creating sites, then you will know the standard options here. And I'm going to pick team site. I'm just going to say use the top link bar from the parent site as well, just so I can get back and forward. Again, one of the interface changes makes it a little bit difficult to do that. And if I click create, you'll see that it lands me straight on the home page of the new site, and then I can begin to edit that site straight away. So fairly straightforward. It's just a kind of slight change in that you have to get to site contents to create it. Now, for those more experienced of you in the SharePoint world, you will remember that under site actions there was this sites and workspaces option, and if you click on sites and workspaces, again you can create a new site from that point, and we come back to that same interface we were at before. So yes, there's some of the things that are pretty similar to where we were before, but it has changed, given that site actions doesn't allow you to create new sites anymore straight away. So we showed you site actions and creating sites. Let's take a quick look at creating new document libraries now. So again, in SharePoint 2010 world, there was the option here to go to site actions and click create new document library. Now they've replaced this with this idea of adding a new app. And hopefully you've got the message that in SharePoint 2013 everything now is referred to an app. So there's no lists and libraries as such. It's not defined or clearly defined in that way. They've kind of grouped everything under this term apps. But actually, when I say there's no lists and libraries, they're still there. You can still see custom lists, document libraries, tasks. So the things we're kind of used to are kind of there, but they've just changed the terminology slightly. So if you were looking for new document library or new lists and libraries, now the option you're looking for is add an app. So let's create a document library. It asked me to pick a name here, but I never really like going for the quick and simple option. I'm always going to go to advanced options, just so I can get the full list of options at this point. And I'm going to say new library. Now, for those of you in the SharePoint 2010 world that remembered creating libraries and lists, the little problem we had with spaces, we still have to go new library without space. Otherwise, when we create a library with a space, we will get that horrible %20 in the URL, and we don't really want to have that in there. So I'm going to create this library with without the space, and just hit create, and you'll see what I mean in the URL here. It tells us that new library is there, and if we had a space it would look something like this. Try to create the list or library without the space, and we can go into library settings after the fact, list name, and we can put the space back in. Seems a bit of a convoluted way to do it, but it will save you a little bit of headaches if you want to maintain that nice URL. And there we have it. Very straightforward. Creating apps and sites. It's a little bit different to how it used to be, but you just need to get used to those new options in the interface. My name is Matthew Hughes, and this is video by Flucidity Limited.